Come on in, folks. Grab a chair. This is just like church. There's all kinds of seats down front if you were late. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the original campus of Montgomery College here at Tacoma Park, Silver Spring. And welcome to the 2023 college-wide spring opening meeting in the beginning of our spring semester. So, Happy New Year, everybody. My name is Brad Stewart, and I have the honor of being the Vice President and Provost here at the TPSS campus. And on behalf of all of the campus Vice Presidents, I want to give you a special welcome to our new faculty and staff members who have just joined Montgomery College. You guys made a really good decision to come to work here. For those attending in person, please silence your cell phones so we don't have any interruptions. So, our spring opening meeting theme is this: transforming our future for our students, for our college, and for our community. Now, transformation is not exactly the same thing as change. We've heard about change here for the whole 17 years that I've been up here at the podium. Change is relatively simple. Transformation is much more difficult. Now, that transformation is an internal process when we are willing to see differently what we look at every day. Now, we've been through a lot of change both locally and globally. With COVID, the war in Ukraine, the climate crisis, political polarization, all of those ideas are vying for the title of the worst idea ever. We as a society, as a nation, as a community, and individually have experienced challenges and losses at a scale and speed that are immense and frenetic. However, it is education that gives us the tools to respond to all of these challenges and changes. It is tempting to preserve the status quo, I know, because it brings with it a sense of security. And we've all been looking for that over the past 2 or 3 years. But security is often stagnant, and MC is anything but stagnant. Our students and our communities deserve our best thoughts, our best energies, and our best actions. Now, we all know that education is critical in propelling our transitions towards a just society. Education shapes the values and skills of our students, but also plays a crucial role in our community, a role that goes way beyond teaching and learning. Education has the ability to completely rebuild and fortify our community so that it is more fair, more inclusive, and more equitable for every person. To transform our world, transformative education needs to lead the way. And no educational institution is better at being in the vanguard of transformative change than Montgomery College. So, I hope you guys are all rested and refreshed and ready for an exciting spring semester. Welcome all again. It is now my great honor and privilege to introduce the president of Montgomery College, who is just about to enter his anniversary of his first year here, Dr. Jermaine Williams. Dr. Williams?
Thank you. Thank you. Is that okay? Morning.
Good morning.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Stewart. Good morning, everyone. I see one of the things they always tell you, never leave the microphone unattended, right? No matter how long it takes someone to get out there, don't leave the podium unattended. It is absolutely great to see everyone this morning. We're entering a new year. I've seen so many individuals and so many individuals I've yet to see. We've yet to see each other, so it's great to just wish each other a new year, say happy 2023. And as we enter the new year, I'm hopeful that everyone is rested and reinvigorated. I've heard from colleagues about travel, children and grandchildren, holiday gatherings and special family traditions. And I really appreciate each and every one of you sharing these very personal experiences with me. I also tried to power down a little bit. We did, the family and I did some traveling around, just pretty local, but we did some traveling. The boys really enjoyed spending time with their aunts and their uncles and their grandparents and their cousins. And I think they liked hanging out with mom and dad a little bit too. The jury's still out on that one. But no, it was really good because now we tell a lot of dad jokes, which gets the 5-year-old and the 10-year-old to just kind of crack up. So, it was really great to get away, great to unplug and refresh for a little bit. And from what I hear, most of you had a chance for some downtime, which really it's makes me pleased to know. And if I've learned anything about the college, it's that we're a hardworking team. Right? We see it day in and day out, and our commitment to students, your commitment to students, runs deep. And it would be, I know late nights grading. I've had conversations with individuals to early mornings setting up labs. I know that sometimes it's tutoring or weekends hosting community events or engaging prospective students. Just a few days ago, Dr. Swanson, I saw him earlier. So many of us were here with about 100 and some odd part-time faculty members, right? So the college never stops. The college never stops engaging. The college never stops striving to fulfill its mission. And this really resonated with me a few weeks ago in December. I was able to visit some of our third shift workers. And again, reminded the college is a 24/7 operation. People are always working at the college. With that in mind, I want to go back to the very beginning of what I was sharing. And I would posit that, some of the best performing teams, they take time to rejuvenate. Right? They pause, they hit the reset button, they come back reinvigorated. So with that, I will say again, I hope that all of you had that opportunity over break. And as we journey into a new year, not too many days into 2023, I think it makes, I don't say everyone, I use an I statement, at least it makes me think about new possibilities, and I definitely spent some dedicated time thinking about the coming year. The college's capacity specifically for adaptation and innovation, and how that has just been strengthened throughout the college's history and absolutely throughout the past few years. And I bring that up, adaptation and innovation, because these characteristics, they're going to be essential for us moving forward. Right? Having spent almost a year now, as you heard, at the college, my reflections are even better informed. The priorities that were shared in the fall are helping us make change. Those priorities such as transforming student experiences and success, expanding educational opportunity, growing partnerships, strengthening employee engagement, and nurturing a culture of care. Last year, it showed me even more clearly what the college is already doing well. Keeping students first, innovating, and expanding partnerships. Specifically, our partnerships in the community. There are new jobs, as we all know, that arose from the pandemic, and there are jobs that receded. And the college must continue to move quickly and seamlessly to respond to dynamics in our environment so that post-completion success is a reality for all of our students and all of our residents whom we seek to serve. And you heard me talk a lot about post-completion success. And when we think about post-completion success and ensuring that all students leave MC with a credential of economic value that leads to a family-sustaining wage or an immediate path towards that outcome. This means individual, economic, and social mobility, as well as being engaged civically. We know through research that this correlates to intergenerational mobility. that means social transformation. That's why we're here, right? With that said, getting students to that place means everyone along the pipeline of access and completion being in constant coordination, right? And you think about that. Think about our partnerships with MCPS and USG being more integrated than ever. Our connections to philanthropists being more intentional. Our communication with businesses and nonprofits and community organizations are more seamless. And we continue to strengthen our partnerships with four-year institutions. Right? Swift and meaningful adaptation must be the anchors of our work. And I will say, to that note, since January, I know we've all been busy and gotten back into the swing of things. I've attended a joint boards meeting that included board members from MC, MCPS, and universities at Shady Grove. There was a Montgomery County Workforce Development Board meeting and the Maryland Community College fundraising professionals meeting that occurred just a few days ago at our Rockville campus. And say the commitment among these groups to progress for Maryland students it's been absolutely remarkable. You know, there's new energy and opportunities to student access with scholarships in enabling students to complete with strategic programming, counseling, and advising, and channeling efficiencies with new technologies, and in connecting students to professional paths while they're studying, right? Not afterwards, but while they're studying. The energy around building the strongest roadmap to student success is absolutely palpable in the groups that I mentioned and so many other groups, and with everyone, all of us here today. You know, and I've been absolutely proud, as I always am, to represent MC at these groups and other groups as we, travel throughout our journeys together, the past few weeks and beyond. One of the things that really resonates, one of the things that makes me most proud is that I'm always able to very easily, although it's not simple, it is easy to illustrate how MC keeps students first, how we're innovating, how we're leading with impactful community partnerships. I've spent almost a year observing how we keep students first, with new grants that open doors to in-demand jobs, with new attention to inclusion and universal design, with 6 new online programs approved by MHEC, with counseling and advising set to serve students with even more team members. I was able to welcome so many more team members just a few weeks ago at a new faculty orientation. With the Shaw Center connecting more students through its social resource program, basic needs grants to housing, healthcare, food, and emergency assistance. And with governance, our awesome governance, hosting 61 total meetings in the fall. 61. I was able to attend about a third of these meetings, so I know how hard, how dedicated our individuals in governance are. Absolutely awesome. And I've seen also how the college is using technology and systems thinking to improve equitable student support. And here's one of the great things, right? There's so much more. Right? This is, while it's not the beginning, this is just part of our process. There's so much more to be excited about. There's so much more that we can do. There's so much more that we will do. Innovative thinking is what will enable us to learn continuously. Right? The college of the future will be built on consistently iterating, adapting, and innovating to meet the needs of today and proactively meet the needs of our ever-changing society. We'll see diversity and inclusion are being strengthened through philanthropy. Faculty members are building practical business and industry-driven opportunities and solutions. There are new sites that will serve our students right in their communities. speaking to our history and our mission. Virtual learning is enhancing equity. The winter term was up more than 20%. That's all virtual. Innovation is fueling the creative designs that drive transformations to the student experience. Partnerships are building the architecture that multiply these impacts. For example, the Ignite Hub, Health Computing Institute Partnership, Maryland Male Students of Color, Sonia Kovaleski Day, the Strategic Plan Refresh, which you'll hear a little bit more about in a few minutes. That last one is so powerful. It's an institutional driver. It's a model for how the college can build on the insights of the current plan. Enriching it with knowledge we have gained and strengthening it with new partnerships. We'll produce a roadmap that is both visionary and adaptable. Visionary and adaptable. It will continue to nourish certain projects that are already in progress. Again, I'm going to share this. By iterating, adapting, and innovating, the college will meet the needs of today and proactively meet the needs of our ever-changing society. Our society requires learning fast in order to quickly identify and capitalize on what is yielding positive results. Another key point, we also need to focus on unlearning. Right? I'm going to repeat that. I'm encouraging, I'm inviting, I'm asking us to also focus on unlearning. Unlearning current practices that are not yielding the results we seek. Things that we know we can do differently. As we respond to the needs of our residents, the changing nature of jobs, portable technology, artificial intelligence, and other profound changes, we will need new paradigms and new strategies. We will continue to need the voices of our business and nonprofit community partners to keep us informed about how we can better serve their needs. We will continue to be fortified by seeking the voices of our students and implementing changes based on those we serve and those who we seek to serve. We'll need to be proactive and leverage real-time feedback about what is working, what is not working, and what could be working better and or differently. Swift and meaningful adaptation will be essential moving forward. Continuous learning will be the principle to which we must return, and data-informed decision-making will be our standard. We talk about highly impactful experiences, educationally purposeful experiences, highly impactful institutions, like highly impactful students and people. Right? They embrace their growth points, right? Like an assets-based approach often. Right? We don't shy away from our growth points, and we don't shy away from our opportunities. If data, information, experiences tell us that we're kind of veering off track, we pivot. There's words you haven't heard in a little while, right? Pivot. We make a change. We adjust. We recalibrate. Right? With that in mind, we also know that creating a transformational impact means learning from all of our experiences. That adaptation is perhaps our strongest suit in our current climate. The faster and more we learn, the faster we adapt, the faster we can achieve our objectives. Celebrating all learning, even those items that maybe we've previously classified as missteps or mistakes. Those are learning opportunities. And celebrating those takes courage. So again, I invite all of us to embrace the vulnerability that enables change. Let's encourage the psychological safety that lends itself to asking questions, communicating when we need help, and sharing when we do not know something. These characteristics will help us learn faster and adapt more efficiently in our ever-changing society. I've spent a year, a glorious year, exploring the college's capacities for adaptation and innovation, as I shared at the very beginning of this conversation. I'm energized and absolutely inspired. Every day, each and every day, and I'm not a person who really talks in absolutes, but I can stand here unequivocally and say every single day, I see a commitment from faculty and staff to student achievement and equity. I see it in personal interactions, and yes, I see it in data. I am grateful to be part of our institution. We are mission-focused and leading people to economic and social mobility, as well as civic engagement. So, as we lean into the spring semester and beyond, innovation and adaptation must drive our thinking and actions. Partnerships should inform all of our strategies. And it'll come as no surprise, keeping students first must continue to be our primary lens. It's a lot. And as we do this together, side by side, I want to remind everyone to care for yourselves and for one another. Taking this time for yourself while you serve students is an act of management we should all model for one another. Everything that I just shared, everything that has been occurring, all the successes, creating high-quality, equitable learning and engagement opportunities is a big ask. You all know because you've been doing it for a long time, right? We're building off of successes, identifying new ones. So you also know, and I'm here to remind you, prioritizing health and wellness will help us meet the challenge and achieve our goals. So please take that time for yourselves. Please consider each other. Continue to navigate with care and compassion and empathy. Now, well, Sarah's among my experiences this first year, there have just been so many times when I've been inspired by our students. I'm sure that resonates with everyone who is here. Our students are why we're here. They're our purpose. Their courage, their tenacity, and their willingness to take on leadership roles. We are so very lucky to have several of those students here today to share their experiences. Listening to students, as we all know, is a powerful way to confirm that our programs and services are doing what we think they're doing. Right? Are doing what we think they are doing. It's also a powerful way to identify new opportunities for moving forward. That's why I'm so intent on bringing students to events like this one. So I'm going to come back in a few minutes, and we are going to have a fantastic conversation with some students and alumni. I'm really looking forward to it. I know that you are as well. At this point in time, though, I'm going to turn things over to Dr. Stephen Cain and Mr. John Hamman. They're going to talk us through the strategic plan refresh. Thank you all I'll see you in a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Dr. Williams, and good morning. Happy New Year. So good to see you. I'm Steve Cain, and I will be joined by my colleague, John Hamman, in just a few moments. So we're going to start with a little brief background, talk about the activities already underway with regard to the strategic plan refresh and the activities to come, and then end with how you can get involved. I see some members of the SPARC here today, the Strategic Plan Advisory Refresh Committee. Can you all just raise your hands for a moment and wave hi? All right, excellent, excellent. Well, first let's put the strategic plan in perspective. Our strategic plans are developed with broad college-wide involvement. The plan is a bold view of what Montgomery College can do for students, for employees, and for the community. I want to emphasize how important the plan is. It not only serves as a statement of our goals as an institution, it also guides our activities, initiatives, decision-making, and budgets. Our current strategic plan is called Montgomery College 2025. It has 6 goals: empower students to start smart and succeed, enhance transformational teaching practices and learning environments, fuel the economy and drive economic mobility, build, engage, and strengthen community partnerships, invest in our employees, and protect affordability. I think you'll agree that these are worthy and important goals. They're accompanied by action steps, outcomes, and indicators. The work on developing MC 2025, as it is often called, began in 2018. It went into effect in July 2020 as intended. It's a good plan, and it's been our guide. The thing is, the world is different today. Some would say dramatically different from the world in 2018 or even 2020. In fact, when the plan went into effect in July of 2020, we were 4 months into the pandemic. Our attention, of course, was focused on dealing with everything about the pandemic. So it's a different world today compared to what we were considering when we composed MC 2025. The pandemic has had far-reaching effects. We've all felt changes in the economy. The murder of George Floyd and too many other victims has deepened our social justice awareness. There are new needs in higher education, and there are new needs at Montgomery College. The need for a strategic plan refresh was highlighted in the report of the Presidential Transition Advisory Committee. You may recall that Dr. Williams appointed this group last spring to assist in his transition to MC. I want to read 2 sentences from this excerpt from the report for emphasis. Be proud of our students and graduates, our excellent programs, our amazing faculty and staff, and our achievements. Then advance the institution as an anti-racist community college that is a national leader in radical inclusion, completion with equitable outcomes, superior post-completion success, and relevant service to local employers and the community. Note then that the committee report speaks to the need for a refresh of the strategic plan. Finally, I'll share a quote from Dr. Williams' inauguration address, where he said that we seek to be an agent of transformation. He spoke about the aspirations for that transformation that day in terms of access, completion, and post-completion success. For all these reasons, the refresh was announced and launched during the fall semester. Let me now turn the mic over to my colleague, John Hamman, who will share information about our activities to date and how you can be involved. John?
Thank you, Steve.
All right, I'm thrilled to be able to be here this morning to talk to you a little bit about a strategic plan refresh and some of the work that's been going on so far. As Steve has already shared, this work of refreshing the strategic plan will involve all of us. We started by soliciting participation in the Strategic Plan Refresh Advisory Committee, SPARC, back in November. We were pleased with the responses we received, not only because they reflect the diversity of the institution, but because we were able to include some new voices in the group, which has brought new perspectives to the table as we work to refresh this plan. The members of the committee represent all the divisions of the college, with representatives who have been here less than 4 years to some who have been here more than 25 years. It's important for you to look for names you recognize on this list. Since we understand that everyone cannot attend the events we have scheduled, we are asking each of these representatives to reach out to the departments, divisions, and other communities on which they serve to solicit ideas and feedback. We want to hear ideas from everyone at the college. The SPARC committee has been broken down into 5 subcommittees: student success, employees, community, workforce and partnership, and mission, vision, and values. Each SPARC committee member has been assigned to one of these subcommittees. These assignments are not intended to limit the scope of contributions from any of the members, nor are they representative of some structure we expect to see in the final document. Instead, the subcommittees are a method by which we are making sure the strategic plan is viewed from multiple lenses. While it is important for employees of the college to view this work from student, workforce, and community perspectives, we want to additionally bring in work groups where we gather input from actual students and actual community members and other stakeholders to make sure that we understand their perspectives. We have an aggressive timeline to get this work completed, which is why we're here today, soliciting your help on this project. The committee has been actively meeting, reading plans from other institutions, and discussing outcomes we would like to see included in the refresh plan. This Thursday, January 19th, we are hosting a college-wide forum to gather ideas from the entire college community, which I'll discuss more in a moment. During the month of February, we'll be vetting a first draft based on what we've heard thus far, together with the input we're seeking in the next few weeks. Careful reading and active engagement with the draft will be critical. So please make sure you block out some time in your own calendars in February for this review. In March, SPARC will use the input from the review to create a final draft that will be presented to the Board of Trustees in April. As you've heard me say, this process needs your input in order to have a plan that is as visionary and transformational as Dr. Williams has called for. The first thing I would like to ask of you is to attend the Refresh Forum this Thursday, if possible. The forum will be held in person at the Rockville campus in the Theater Arts Arena from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. We are very pleased to be featuring Dr. Arthur Levine, author of The Great Upheaval, which is a research-based look at the future of higher education in the country. A couple of college-wide emails have been sent with registration information, but in case you've missed those, feel free to use the QR code here, or the website listed below, montgomerycollege.edu/forum-registration, to register now. We really need to have broad participation in this event to make it successful. Of course, this one-time event is not the only way we'll solicit feedback. Please watch your email for additional virtual ways to give us feedback, as well as talking with SPARC members and attending future forums. Making sure you set aside time to carefully read the draft version of the refresh plan in February and submit your comments is one of the most important things that you can do. It is important that we think not of this work as a solo activity or isolated from the rest of the work we do at the college. We encourage discussions at department meetings, governance councils, and most importantly, conservation with your peers. The brainstorming that happens in those moments can be transformational, and those are the ideas that we need to incorporate into this plan. Of course, the plan is just a plan. We really need to start preparing ourselves to continue the work begun in MC 2025 and be receptive to reimagine how Montgomery College can serve our students, employees, and the community. With that, I'd like to welcome Dr. Williams back on stage to present and introduce our student panel. All right, Tag, you're it. All right.
I had to do something to get the crowd laughing. I was like, come in, peer from the stage. Well, thank you, Dr. Cain and Mr. Hamman. The refresh of the strategic plan is a fantastic example of our strongest suit, one of our strongest suits, adapting to our conditions, right? Preparing for the future. And I'm very, very excited. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you at the College-wide Forum in a few days. And now I'm super excited to share that we have several students and alumni who are here with us. I'd like to invite them to the stage. Now you're wondering where everyone's going to come from, right? I'd like to invite them to the stage. They're going to share with us about their experiences. This dialogue, thank you, Chris, is going to be fantastic. It's going to continue to center us around access and completion and post-completion success. Our dedicated students and alumni who are here. I know we have a student or alum who like almost literally just got off of a plane, and now she is here with us. She can share that story with you, but this is going to be a wonderful conversation. And is everyone excited about this? Let's give our students a, yeah. All right. So I'm going to come over here. So, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah? How are you? Just pretend like it's just talking here. So let's start off. I think it'd be great to know a little bit about you, your name, your major, your expected graduation date, and for alumni, your name, when you graduated, your professional experience since leaving MC. So we'll start off with those. And how about you go first?
Okay. Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Amin Irasa. I'm an early college student here at MC. I attend Paint Branch High School and Montgomery College at the same time. I plan on getting my associate's degree in May with my high school diploma, of course, in June. I then plan on getting my bachelor's degree at University of Maryland College Park. Hopefully, my decisions come out in 2 weeks, so wish me luck. Once I get my bachelor's degree, I then plan on pursuing medical school, where I get my dream job of becoming an orthopedic surgeon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zachary Musimi. I'm a second-year early college student on the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus, with plans to graduate in May with my associate's degree in computer science, and also graduate in June from Blake High School with my high school diploma. I also plan on going to UMD, but decisions do come out in 2 weeks, so just wish me luck on that. And I plan on graduating with my bachelor's in computer science and becoming a software engineer.
Hi, everyone. My name is James Geekus. I'm a proud cybersecurity major, graduating this spring 2023. My future educational goals are to become highly fluid and knowledgeable in the cybersecurity field, and to be a go-to guy in the to resolve any security issues. I have actually attended Montgomery College in the past, so I'm actually an alumni and a current student.
I attended in 2005. I got out of high school, switched my major a few times, and I remember all of my professors, every single one. I see a few of you still here, and my current professors. I went to the University of Maryland and graduated there, got a real-world job, worked there for 8 years, and I was a logistics coordinator for DHL Express, and something was missing. The whole world was moving on, and I was staying the same, so I decided I wanted to learn cybersecurity, come back here, best place to come to, forget the master's degrees, forget self-learning. This is where I want to be, to passionately learn something from a professional. So, only the good instructors will convey the art of cybersecurity. And MC forever has housed a welcoming environment, knowledgeable professors, informative curriculums, and an intelligent, diverse student body.
Hi everyone, I'm Miriam Iftihar. So I attended MC from 2017 to 2020. And then I transferred in the middle of COVID to Hood College, which is just down the road in Frederick, Maryland. And I majored in international relations with a minor in nonprofit and civic engagement. And I graduated from Hood just last year, May 2022. So very recently wrapped up kind of my academic career. And I am now the communications director at a nonprofit in DC called the International Center for Religion and Diplomacy. Kind of a mouthful, but it's essentially a really great NGO that does conflict prevention and peace-building work, which is something I've always been passionate about. And so at my time at MC and Hood, I was really grateful to be able to do research and attend conferences and present research and publish research. And I was a little too involved at MC, which I will share as we continue the conversations, but I'm really glad to be here and inspired by all of the students around me and the friendly professors and faces that I see. So thank you for this opportunity.
Good morning. My name is Victor Ontiveros. I am a graduate of Montgomery College from the year 2004. After graduating with an Associate of Arts in General Studies, I continued at Montgomery College for an additional year to pick up credits before transferring to the University of Maryland College Park, where I got a master's and bachelor's in fire protection engineering and a doctorate in reliability engineering. I'm currently a consulting engineer at a company called Jensen Hughes, where my primary work is focused on probabilistic fire risk assessment for power generating facilities.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicanor Aquino. I usually go by NJ. I graduated Montgomery College in 2005 with a general studies degree, and then shortly after that, I got my certificate in Germantown for the biotech certificate, and I worked straight to BioReliance, now known as Millipore Sigma. So I have been working there since 2007, and still working there now as an operations manager. Also, on the evenings, I work for Montgomery College, Germantown as the biotech bootcamp faculty member.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joyce McCurry. As Dr. William mentions, I actually just landed probably like 2 hours ago. My flight was delayed about 15 hours, but I was so determined to be here this morning because that's what Montgomery College taught me, perseverance and basically defying all odds to achieve what you want to achieve in life. I actually am an immigrant from Kenya. All my family is back in Kenya, and I came to the United States in 2016, leaving all my family behind. I was determined to go to college, but I didn't know where to begin. And after researching on my cell phone, that's when I came to learn about Montgomery College. I applied and I basically began college here. It was such an amazing experience that has prepared me to be the person that I am today. I was here at Montgomery College 2016 through 2019, where I obtained my associate degree in biological science. And I was able to obtain actually full rides to both University of Maryland and Smith's College, where I chose to go to University of Maryland College Park on a full scholarship. I'm a graduate of, I graduated with a degree in biochemistry. I'm actually proud to say that I've been accepted into the Tyson's Physician's Assistant Program, where I'll be starting school this upcoming summer. I'm so grateful for this moment. I'm glad to be here, and Montgomery College, keep it up, you're changing lives indeed.
Wow. This is going to be a great conversation. Thank you all for those introductory remarks, from perseverance and defying all odds to the idea of being fluid within a discipline. We're talking about adaptation and innovation in an ever-changing society, and it wasn't about a specific component. You want to be fluid and being able to navigate in and out for what comes. And to early college, to doctorate, I mean, the continuum here is just absolutely fantastic. So let's, our next question, what advice would you give with your wealth of experiences? What advice would you give a new or any student on how to succeed at MC?
I'll start. So I think the biggest piece of advice I would give students is don't be afraid. And to share a little bit about my story and background. So I was homeschooled for high school, which was interesting because I had gone to regular school, the Montgomery County public school system, and I loved school. I was a certified nerd. But because of a family situation, I ended up doing homeschooling to shoulder some more responsibility at home. So that whole experience kind of made me feel like my options were limited and my ambition and prospects for the future felt very dwindled. And so I came to MC, not really thinking that I had a lot of opportunity out there. And it kind of took my first year at MC for me to come back out of my shell. And I really, really credit that to the professors that I had, for pushing me in the classroom and for seeing my potential and kind of reopening that hope that, there's opportunity and there's potential for you to do whatever you want to do. And so I really, the rest of because I ended up doing 3 years at MC, so the rest of the 2 years, after that first year, I just applied to everything that I could. I was involved in clubs on campus, and I think those opportunities really opened doors for me, being also a first-generation student from an immigrant family. And so I did the Frank Carell Fellowship Program in 2019, and that was an incredible opportunity where the fellowship paid me to live in DC and paid me a salary to work at a nonprofit in DC. So, that experience itself opened me up to this whole new world of, I can be a little bit more ambitious and I can do these things for social justice and to help people. And then I was asked to be a program coordinator for that fellowship, so working a little bit behind the scenes and getting that insight firsthand on how you can grow through these roles. And then I ended up ending my MC career with research and presenting at conferences and doing really cool internships. And I won the 2-year Ports Award from the Maryland Collegiate Honors Council. And with all that, I think at every step of the way, I was definitely afraid, but I would have conversations with myself and my professors where the worst thing that can happen is a no. right? And that doesn't close the door to the million other opportunities that exist. So I tell this to every student, I tell this to my brothers who are, starting college now, that being afraid only limits your opportunity to open the door. And the doors are still gonna be there even if you're afraid. But if you just let down that fear a little bit, you'll see that the doors are already open. You just need to walk through. So I know that's a little cheesy, but that's what I wanna share.
Thank you so much for sharing. Who else would like to? Yes, please.
One thing I've come to learn in life is there's nothing that is too big to achieve. All you got to learn is to push those doors. I think a bit of advice that I can give to current students is to learn the resources that are available to you and utilize them fully. I recall when I first came to Montgomery College, I was fresh from Africa with zero experience. Obviously, navigating the system was quite challenging. But one thing I had is the drive. I knew that I wanted to pursue my educational goals and make my parents and myself proud. I recall when I came here, I didn't know how I was gonna pay for college, but I knew I wanted to go to college. And I recall walking into the financial aid's office and explaining to the now retired financial aid manager, Ms. Mother Karega. I explained to her that I just came from Africa. I want to go to school, but I don't know how I'm going to pay for school. She was very willing. She sat down with me and she was able to help me basically apply for financial aid. The only reason as to why I was able to get that financial aid is because I, took the step to go seek help from, from the correct people. And another thing is, the resources that are available. Montgomery College has offered incredible resources to the students that can help them succeed. We have the Math Learning Center, we have the Digital Learning Center. If you're not familiar with technology, you can go out there and seek help. In fact, when I first came here, I went to the Math Learning Center, and that's how I ended up getting my first job here at Montgomery College. Also, there's another time I had a lot of struggle, and I didn't know how I was gonna pay for the math courses that I'd taken. I recall walking into Dr. Brad's office, and it was in the middle of doing something, and it was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I've got to go somewhere. I was like, Dr. Brad, kindly, I need to see you. He actually stopped everything that he was doing, and with the help of Dr. Brad and Ms. Kim, they were able to come up with a way of actually paying for my math courses that I'd struggled. I didn't know how I was gonna pay for it, but they told me, come back on Monday. And literally when I came back that Monday, my classes were paid for, and all I had to worry about is just working hard and maintain that high grades. Another thing I'd say is, learning to utilize, like, we have office hours. It's okay not to understand, but you have to take the initiative and reach out to your professors. And in fact, other classes, they have like student assistants that are hired to help you. So learning to go beyond what you're taught in class and just seek help from your professors, utilize the office hours. And even then, if they don't work, the schedule doesn't work with you, the professors are pretty flexible. Dr. Newman, my organic chemistry teacher, professor, I can see you right there. There's so many days that I went to his office, I'm like, I didn't do so great, what can I do to improve? And that's how I can, probably say that I had an A in both organic 1 and 2. So yeah, basically, know the resources that are available for you and utilize them fully to your success. And lastly, I'd say there's no shortcut to success. You have to learn to put in the work. When you get out of Montgomery College or wherever you go, it's what knowledge can you apply? What have you learned? So it's okay to work hard now, and when you get out there, you have all the knowledge, you have all the skills, and be the best that you can be.
So many great walking through doors. Even if there's trepidation, finding those doors, walking through them, pursuing the opportunities, availing yourselves of resources and being determined. So many wonderful experiences that you're sharing. I thought I saw, was Zachary or, please.
Yeah, sure. I wanted to talk about some advice for students at MC. I'll talk about in and outside the classroom. I'll add on to what Miriam said about not being afraid. And when you're in the class, it's very important to be engaged in the classes and also be involved and utilize office hours that the teacher offers, because if you need help, you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. And also not being afraid outside the classroom is more like being involved in clubs. And for example, last year, this is my second year on this campus. Last year I wasn't in any clubs at all because, and I was still involved in some stuff with my high school. So I didn't have that much time, but this year I joined the Student Senate. I joined the Student Activities Board with a lot of help from Mrs. Kimberly. She convinced me to join everything, and she did a great job. Yeah, and so I joined the Student Senate. I got very involved in the campus and being able to create change and being able to make the campus more lively with the Student Activities Board and setting up events and stuff. It makes you feel like you're more a part of Montgomery College and the community.
Thank you. Victor?
Also, my advice to any students is networking. So your classmates and also your professors. I know it's been since 2007 since I was last in class as a student in Montgomery College, and I still talk to my professor, Dr. Jones, and Dr. Kelman, and also I still talk to the batch of the students that I was with. And because in my field, it is very innovative, so a lot of times we do get together and just talk about work, talk about what groundbreaking technology is out there, just innovate, just try to troubleshoot anything. So even though I do not work with them, people in your class are most likely going to be in the same field as you. So it is true what they said, 2 heads are better than 1, and with a whole class going at it at a problem, especially in the biotech field, it does help a lot, and it does boost your path, your career path. So.
I hear this idea of continuous learning, right? Continuous learning and adapting and innovation. And
through everyone else.
Yes, yeah. through everyone's lived experiences, and then obviously being involved, right? And finding your place in your space. And so it's wonderful.
I just wanted to say that's all great advice, that I could have used too. My advice, 2 things. I'll keep it brief. Learn how to learn. 2 things. Learn how to learn and have a great attitude. Learning how to learn is so important because some students get it and some students don't. The system, kindergarten through 12th grade, you're taught to learn a certain way, and I think for many students, it's kind of a program, but learning how to enjoy learning will change anybody into a student of life. And the second point, thank you. The second point is any subject can be boring or exciting, but what makes it boring or exciting is your attitude. So I'm kind of looking at my notes here, but I just wanted to drive these points down. The difference between failure and success is your attitude. And when you turn that into the college experience, that's what the college experience is all about.
Thank you. Please, Victor.
To add on to what my peers are saying of learning how to learn and participation, taking advantage of all the opportunities, Montgomery College is a unique place where so much is available to students in the depth of majors and courses that are available here, the comparison of the financials it takes to attend Montgomery College versus larger universities, and the benefit of the smaller class sizes you have here, especially in the courses you take in your first 2 years, where at a larger university you'll be in an auditorium of hundreds of students, while here you're with your professor, maybe 15, 25 other students. The counseling services, while I get a book when you start a major, it says you want to take these 4 or 5 courses each year and go through, the counselors can help you pick and shape, is this the right course for me? Doubling back on learning how to learn, all of that underlying benefit allows you to make mistakes if you don't understand how to learn yet. Maybe you picked a major you decide after a year is not the major you want. Montgomery College allows you to, at very low risk to your future, change your path and to try something different and to learn how to learn while you're here. It's an amazing place.
Just to add on to what my friends are saying here, the advice I would give is to definitely take advantage of MC's wonderful resources. For example, ATPA coaching. There is an ATPA coach for each and every one of your classes, and they're there to help. So if you're falling back in class or you need help on this one little problem that you're struggling with, definitely go to them. They'll help you with whatever you're struggling with and keep you on track and help you succeed at MC.
So, wow, just absolutely wow. And it segues into beautifully, into our second question, right? And so our ATPA, or getting involved, resources, anything else that others who haven't mentioned resources or additional resources, what student or academic services are or were the most beneficial? We've already heard so many, but just want to open that question up very pointedly if there's more you want to add.
Sure, I'll take the first
Please.
topic as it is. In addition to all the other, counseling, clubs, student senate, there's also a number of honors programs available to students, especially coming in. Some of you can join during them, like Macklin Business, Renaissance Scholars. I started Montgomery College as a Montgomery Scholar, which was very challenging as an engineering student because it focused so strongly on the humanities. It forced me to do far more writing and far more speaking than many of my peers. So when I transferred to the University of Maryland, College Park, I was far ahead. And when we had the Montgomery Scholars Program, you finish with an independent research project and a presentation. You write a paper, you can submit it to conferences. I was fortunate enough to do that and participate in those. And then when I got to my senior project, many of my peers were not experienced with that yet, and I was. And I can say, with some bias, that definitely opened up the path for me to continue on to get a graduate degree at the expense of the University of Maryland. So.
I think I heard like a scholarship resource, kind of slid that in there as
that's
well.
it, yes.
It's like there's scholarships.
That's right.
Others, resources, please.
Well, I'm a computer science major, so like a lot of the courses that I do were like STEM related, things of that nature. So I'd say like the Math and Science Learning Center at Montgomery College are really good. I had to take Calc 1, Calc 2, and linear algebra, and to pass all those courses, the Math Learning Center helped me a lot, and also I had to take like physics, and that class, different. So I had to go. I went to Science Learning Center a lot for help, and they helped me a lot. So I also emphasize, scheduling appointments with the Math and Science Learning Center. They're pretty much always open, so you can always just walk in and get help from students and faculty.
Joyce?
Yes. I'm also going to reiterate what my peers said. Actually, the writing center was very crucial to me. I just came from Kenya. We speak English in Kenya, however, writing was not my stronghold. I just hated it, you know. When I came here, I realized there's no way I'm going to escape this. You know, I knew I had to find a way. So having the writing center was very crucial. I spent so much time over there, which really helped me even now. I ended up joining the Renaissance Scholar. I took a lot of honors classes with the help of the Writing Center. I'm also going to say the Career Center. You know, sometimes you do things on your own, you think it's okay, but it's really not okay. With the help of the Career Center, I was able to get my resume together, which has helped me up until now. So yeah, the Writing Center and the Career Center were very crucial to me.
Yes. So I was about to say the Career Center. That is where I actually learned how to properly interview. Is they go there, they help you brush up your resume. They also, you know, do a mock interview if needed. And I really enjoyed that because there really is no class for resume writing or even how to properly interview. So I think that the Career Center is a huge help. And currently, some of my employees have been taking the bio track in Germantown, so that to further develop what they know, and for me, that helps with their development and their career. They get to play with this really expensive machines. Really don't know how it works, but at least they have learned so much about mass specs or even HPLCs. And so I've sent some of my employees there to further their career. So not.
You can go first.
You can go.
Okay. I was also in the Renaissance Scholars on the Germantown campus, and echoing everything you said, but also for me, a lot of the opportunities that I found for professional development or academic development in terms of applying to conferences and presenting research were through the Renaissance Scholars Program, which I absolutely loved. And I think just that environment of having these interdisciplinary classes, I think really shaped me as a person and the career that I'm now developing, because I'm doing communications work, but I studied international relations, and so I really bring that interdisciplinary kind of focus to my work, and I hope to eventually continue on and do grad school. And again, just the level of writing that was required in these classes, I think shaped me up amazingly for my time at Hood and beyond, and even for my career, because constantly kind of the feedback that I get is you write very well. And I don't say that to brag, but rather to kind of emphasize that these skills that we were able to build up at MC kind of exceed expectations than what people might assume from that community college label. And I think that's so important and integral in the world that we live in and the way that we communicate, writing and these interdisciplinary skills being really important. And just overall being able to build that community of peers and faculty, because another aspect of that community college life is like you commute and you go to class and then you go home and work, and students don't really think that there is a way to build community, so they don't go out and try. And this is what I thought my first year as well. But when I was introduced to this honors community and I had classes continuously with the same peers, I was able to build those really deep bonds, and I've maintained amazing friendships with those students, lifelong friendships. I just had a birthday lunch with one of those friends, and we always joke about being godmothers to each other's children eventually down the future. So it's incredible to me that I was able to walk away from MC with these lasting skills and lasting friendships that I still am able to utilize constantly every day.
Thank you. Amin, and then I think, James, you wanted to add something as well, so please, Amin.
The academic service that was most beneficial to me was the internship specialist, Mr. Barber. He helped me get amazing internships. He got me in contact with an orthopedic surgeon and a family medicine doctor, which I now shadow once a week. Over there, I greet patients in, I take their weight, take their heights, then I guide them into the examination room. I listen to their chief complaint, write that down, and that's where the doctor comes in. That's where the doctor comes in, and then me and him talk, and then, he diagnoses the patient. And I've been doing that every week now, and I've been getting, experience in the field that I wanted to get in. So I major in biological science now, and hopefully I'll get a career in that in the future.
I think on your resume is a Chief Concerns Officer. James.
Okay. So I was an on-campus student, and now I take all of my classes online. For IT, you're able to do that as an IT student. So being on campus, my 3 greatest resources: the library, of course, the computer lab, and the cafeteria. So, having a place to study, I've spent hours in the library at Tacoma Park here. Having a place to study is mandatory for students. But it could be anywhere you decide to study. It just could be in the corner somewhere of a hallway, on a couch. So, having a place conducive to studying where other people are doing the same thing as you. At least that's how, I work. Some people work differently. Some people stay on their own or are in groups. Either way, the cafeteria. Good food, good prices, central place to link up with other students. That's my on-campus experience. Best places. Online, of course, we have Blackboard. So they have a lot of good tools. That's pretty much my experience with that. But meeting up in person was one of the most important things I could do. Meeting those students online, I actually had the opportunity to meet up with some of those students who I met online, and that was so important. Filled in a lot of blanks. So.
Two more questions before we wrap up. This has been so wonderful, and it segues from the last question. And you mentioned professors, mentioned online. The resources that you've all shared throughout our conversation, obviously have been essential, right? And it's great to hear. We strive every student to have those experiences. And we're a large, complex institution of higher education. What additional insights can you provide in terms of why you gravitated toward a specific resource, how you learned about it, why you gravitated toward it, and what kept you going back? And it's been very transparent. Faculty, staff are absolutely critical. Are there other things when we think about, our continuous learning, and we think about virtual, and we think about in person, we think about hybrid? What resonates with you in terms of getting all students engaged and linked to resources? It's for anybody.
Actually, if I may.
Please, James.
I actually just came up with this thinking about the online. I think one of the best things, I know it may put some students out there, but I think when students go online, most people turn their cameras off, and I think that disengages a lot of students from learning. And I just think it should be a good thing to, have everybody engaged in that class, have your camera on, so you're present, just like you're in the classroom, because of the present circumstances. I think it's just necessary.
Appreciate you sharing that. So thinking about how we continue to create engaging virtual experiences, whether that's through a camera or some other component, but making sure that they're equitable and engaging. Thank you, James. Other thoughts on that? Please,
I
Mary.
think, and I'll segue a bit off of what James said, that intentional social interaction. And I'm definitely on the other side of understanding this better now. Having to plan events and only 10 people showing up. I know it's frustrating, and figuring out how to get students engaged and coming to these events that are there to benefit them. And I don't know if this is maybe exactly the way to go about this, but one of the things that I've really thought about is finding a way to more cohesively collaborate and connect kind of all of the resource networks that are available at MC. So Renaissance Scholars and the opportunities they have, and Montgomery Scholars, and like all of these little pockets of communities that exist under that MC umbrella, and finding a way to connect them over lines, whether it's like the campus lines or the disciplines that they each focus on. I think that could also be a way of breaking down a little bit of that fear or the intimidation that students might feel looking at these programs and these opportunities and thinking it requires too much effort or I'm not good enough, that fear that I was talking about in my first year that I felt, because I constantly had professors telling me, Miriam, apply to the Renaissance Scholars, and I kept saying no because I was like, oh, it's too much work, like I have to go to evening classes, and can I even, handle this? I see Dr. Lauf, oh my gosh, hi. And so, finding a way to ease those fears a little bit and approach students from that direction rather than, these programs are incredible and they will help you find success, but for a student that is coming from circumstances where success is just being able to get up in the morning, finding a way to reach them at their levels and finding a way to make it accessible at their levels, I think. And I know that's a bit abstract, but I truly believe that the only difference between an honor student and a non-honor student is just that label. And that experience really isn't that different because each student is giving their all in that classroom that they can. And so just making it a little bit easier for them to apply to these opportunities or attend these classes, I think is a good direction to go in. Hopefully that makes sense.
No, makes sense. Thank you. Anyone else want to field that before we transition to our last question, which almost is kind of aligned with Miriam where you were going? Victor, did you have?
All I can do is add on to what Miriam said. As a Montgomery Scholar and having that opportunity to take the courses combined as they do, that other students did not have that opportunity to see how the world, it's not just take world history and then take world literature, but here's an event in history, here's how art shaped, here's how the literature shaped, here's how the philosophy of the people shaped. To start to be exposed to that while you're getting into your major, even as an engineer who isn't going to take those credits when they transfer to the University of Maryland, to allow other students to experience that would be incredibly beneficial.
As we transition to, thank you very much, our last question in our conversation, and this continuum here, said it before you were introduced, and we talk about it a lot, it's a continuum of access and completion and post-completion success, right? So when we think about that, and you think about your experience, right, and everything that we are doing, because our goal is to ensure this equitable access. And enhance completion and post-completion success, right? Creating opportunities for individual economic and social mobility, leading to, intergenerational mobility and individuals who are civically engaged. What do you think MC could do differently? Whether that's more of something, changing something, adding something to support this continuum, to support this effort of equitably enhancing access, completion, and post-completion success. Joyce?
I think one of the biggest challenges that students face, I'd say not just at Montgomery College, but everywhere else, is the financial aspect. From my own experience, being a full-time student as well as a full-time worker was such a heavy task, Sometimes you have to come to school, and then as soon as you're done, even some people I didn't even have a car at that time. So you can imagine running up and down, leaving school, trying to go to work, and to make a living, not just to, basically to make a living to sustain you while being a student. So I'd say one thing that might be helpful is finding more ways to help students in terms of like offering scholarships. I think will go a long way. When I was a student at Montgomery College, I noticed that it's a lot of, we have a good number of immigrants, and some people come here, they're actually parents at the same time, students, and on the same note, workers. So being a student, worker, and parent can be such an ordeal. So finding ways to come up with scholarships that can help these students can really take that heavy burden off their shoulders so they can focus more on their courses and do better, basically. Yeah.
Thank you. Please.
I think for me, it's not more so what can MC do better, but it's more so of a wish for me that I just wish that MC probably could offer a 4-year bachelor's program just because it's such an amazing school. Yeah. So why not just stay here, right? That's just more so of a wish for me.
Yeah.
That's all. No, thank you. That's, please,
I think create more career-focused programs. For example, I want to get into medical school, so maybe a pre-med program where students can meet and discuss and learn about their future career paths and desired professions. So once they come out of MC, they are more prepared for what the future holds.
Thank you. Miriam?
Yeah, so, and this is like, I'm literally thinking this on the spot, so it's gonna be jumbled, but building kind of off of what everyone is saying and what I was saying before and what James said about learning to learn. I think, MC has these great introductory courses where teachers spend intentional time on how to use these skills, how to access the writing center and counseling and stuff. But those kind of stay in those intro-level courses, right? And for a lot of students coming in, if they automatically test out of those courses, they may not get that instructional learning how to learn kind of part of that education. So maybe more intentional requirements about making sure each student is on the same playing field of how to access success. And then also, in terms of the courses that are available to students and the required courses, I think MC's diversity is something that should constantly be celebrated and has been celebrated. And it was truly something that I think, during 2020 when the BLM protests broke out and the topics of equity and anti-racism really started bubbling up, I enjoyed speaking with my MC peers and the MC faculty checking in and talking about these issues with really rich perspectives because of the sheer fact that we have such a diverse population. And a lot of the schools that students will transfer to and a lot of the workplaces that they will end up in won't look that way. And so I know from my experience going to Hood, which is a very small PWI, it was a very different kind of experience than being in these very diverse spaces at MC where people came to class with a level of empathy and understanding that everyone's perspective had value, even if it was different than yours. And so going to, I guess, sort of preparing students for the fact that the world outside of MC is not going to look exactly the same it is here, but giving you skills and tools in classes about equity that are required, or classes about, race and racism, making those sort of required classes where students gain these skills, specifically conversational skills about how to talk about these issues and how to advocate for themselves when they go to spaces that don't look like MC, that don't sort of have that security blanket. Because I know when I went to Hood, I had a race and racism class, but it was only honors. And I kept thinking, why isn't this accessible to the entire student body, and why isn't it even required? So yeah, that's what I had to say kind of about the classes.
Thank you, Mary. Zachary, did you?
She mentioned the diversity on this campus. It's a very diverse campus, and you have people from different cultures, first-generation students, and like myself, and people from everywhere. And I feel like in the classroom, everything is really good. We have great professors and great resources to get help. Maybe we could, as a campus, be more, like kind of what I said earlier, but like be more involved and just be more connected as a community, because we have people from different backgrounds, and maybe we could find more creative ways to bring everybody together.
Thank you, Zach. Please, Victor.
To keep the learning how to learn train going, when I get a chance to talk to students about their time after Montgomery College, I will let them know that from my experience, that your grade is not the most important thing for you to do while you're at Montgomery College. It's to learn how to learn. You can't not strive for a good grade. It's how we objectively judge if we're succeeding in a course or not. But the first day of your job, your first job, your grades don't matter anymore. So it's far more important for the students to come here and to understand that they are here not to learn how to do Pythagorean's theorem, but to learn how to understand how that was developed. That the techniques, so that when they move on to a job, they can continue to learn and continue to succeed. A student coming from high school or coming into Montgomery College has for many years thought, I need to get good grades to succeed. And here, I was fortunate through the Montgomery College program and for many other professors outside of the program to make it clear, I'm not going to teach you to beat the test. I'm going to teach you physics. I'm going to teach you history. I'm going to teach you philosophy. So it is, I think it would be beneficial to, and I know many of you already do this, but to also let the professors know that we don't need to just have them come in and get this to meet our accreditation requirements or have this test, but focus on how can I help my students, if they don't get an A, to still when they leave this course, they have mastered this topic or can master a topic.
Anybody else? Joyce?
Yeah.
All right.
Just to reiterate on what my peers have said, I wish that the wish of my friend here comes to pass, because actually when I transferred, my friends and I transferred from Montgomery College to University of Maryland, you could feel the difference, you know what I mean? Like with the small classes where you're able to connect with your peers and professors, it was such an amazing experience. And now going to University of Maryland, which was like very huge, we felt the disconnect, and we kept thinking about the experiences that we had here at Montgomery College. So if, by any chance there's a way you can make Montgomery College to be a four-year institution, I'd say that definitely go for it. Another thing, just to finish, I was actually pretty amazed when I got an invite to be part of these. Oftentimes, I think, inviting alumni to come and share their academic journeys and successes, it inspires other people that, hey, Montgomery College is the place to be, and indeed can prepare you to be the best person that you can be. So I'd say that, if this is the first time that this event is happening, it should continue to happen, as I think it's going to serve a purpose of inspiring other current students to continue believing in themselves and strive to be the best that they can be.
Thank you all for sharing your lived experiences with us. Thank you for choosing Montgomery College, sometimes more than once throughout your journey in life. You're obviously surrounded by individuals who are dedicated to seeing you identify your goals, achieve your goals, and just ensuring that you can achieve all that you want in life. And I just want to say, can we give our panel another round of applause? You're awesome. And also, I know we heard it throughout the conversation, but also like to take a moment to thank all the faculty and staff who've supported, particularly these students who are here and alumni with us today. I know some of you are in the audience, so if we can just give a round of applause to everything that our faculty and staff do day in and day out. All right. So on that note, I think we're in a really good place. I think we all have our continued focus and level setting with hearing our student voices. I think it's something that we all strive to do and we all accomplish on a daily basis. And this has been absolutely profound. I'm so thankful for everyone in the college community and our external partners for all of your tireless support in helping us move forward with access and completion and post-completion success in a way that is equitable, in a way that is data-informed, in a way that will ultimately create social transformation. Of course, I would like to give a shout out to MCTV and facilities. You make it happen. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. And on that note, before I invite Dr. Stewart back to the stage, I just want to say this is it's going to be a great semester and an awesome journey. I'm so excited to be on the journey with all of you. So thankful for everything that each and every one of you do day in and day out. And I look forward to seeing everyone soon. And he's here, and Dr. Stewart. So thank you all.
So if that didn't fire you all up for the next semester, there's something wrong with you and we need to talk after the meeting. Congratulations, guys. One more round of attention for them. And some of you have heard me say this at least twice in the past 3 days. MC students, when you give them an opportunity to shine like this and to tell folks what MC means to them, they never disappoint. They always exceed our expectations. So you guys are amazing. We got this on video. We're going to edit it, and you're all going to be superstars soon. Thank you very much. So thanks, everybody, for coming. Some of you have other obligations right after this one. Look on your phone, go to the college webpage for the opening meeting, and you'll find out where you're supposed to be and at what time. And thanks again for coming to the original campus of Montgomery College, and take care.